Hello, I'm Alan Capo, South South News. Anything that makes the internet more accessible has to be of interest, particularly in developing nations still to some extent suffering from the digital divide. I have a very interesting guest with us today to talk about that subject and what the pioneering work of his company has consisted of. Mr. Emdad Khan, who is the founder and the CEO of InternetSpeech. Now, InternetSpeech, as I understand it, Mr. Khan, is a way of accessing the internet just using your voice, so you can really get into the internet from a telephone.
That's exactly right, Alan. First of all, I would like to thank South South for this interview, this opportunity to talk about our technology and service that can help many people around the world to enjoy the benefits of the internet that you just have mentioned.
Well, that covers so many different occupations and kinds of people. I was fascinated to see, of course, that this is a great benefit to people who are disabled or suffering from ill health. And that's just a small part of the whole thing, isn't it?
That is absolutely right.
Can you tell me a little bit about how your company developed this system and how long it has taken and where it is actually available?
Very good. So what happened, Alan, we started the company in 1999. The idea came to my mind around late 1998 that, internet was really born coming to the public early 90s, www, AOL and all those things came around that time. So the idea was, well, computers are great, but to reach to everybody in the world, it will take time if we plan to provide internet via computer. So the idea that came to my mind was, why not use telephone, because telephone is ubiquitous and a lot of cell phone were already there and it was growing very fast.
Right.
So the idea was, can we take the internet from the World Wide Web and deliver it over any phone just by voice and listening, because those are the most natural user interface.
Yes.
And make sure that it is good for people who even don't know how to read or write, disabled people, people who cannot afford a computer or even high-end cell phone. So that's the way idea came in. So we started the company in 1999 July, but before that I developed a prototype first to make sure that the concept works.
Right.
And then raised funding from the company, and it took about 2 years to develop the product, and then it has been around in the US and Canada for 6-7 years, but we just started the service in India, Thailand, and we are about to start in Zambia to begin with in Africa. But
that's the first place in Africa.
First place, but then from Zambia we are planning to go throughout the Africa.
Right, right. So it took you how long to develop the technology?
2 years.
2 years. And you must have needed to raise some capital to assist you through that process.
We did. And one of the important things that probably we don't have a way to show the demo, but for our audience, you can go to www.internetspeech.com. Again, InternetSpeech, InternetSpeech.com. Right. And you will see there is a nice demo on the top left corner on the home page and how people can use it. And you will find out that to do or to provide content from World Wide Web, which was designed mainly visual access in mind. So all the information laid out that attracts our eyes but not ears.
Right.
So to convert that in real time into short, precise, easily navigable and meaningful content is a very complex task.
Right.
So what we have done, Alan, we have used artificial intelligence and the features on the website itself, like font size, color, density, meaning of the word, to determine what are important on the particular page. And then once user select that particular highlight or link, it goes to the desired page and find the relevant content only, because on that page there are a lot more contents, right?
Yes.
Right. But we don't have time to listen to all those. I mean, one can if he or she likes, but we made our software with some intelligent agent to handle this. So basically the idea is use our same algorithm that we use like our eyes and brain. As a human being, when we look into a website, we don't read everything. No. Our eyes get attracted with those features, and then we select one, and when we go to the desired page, our eyes and brain are so rich in processing information, we can retrieve the right information.
Yes.
So we have made our software to do the same thing as many people have been enjoying.
Right.
Not only that, you can also interact, fill forms. You can do special services like e-services, e-government, e-health, e-learning, e-farming,
Indeed.
You name it. Yes.
All of that.
All of that.
Yes. So if you just want to go onto a landing page, that's fine. That's the most common place that people go to first. And then, as you say, they can take their choice. Now, we know that for a lot of developing nations, there has been and still is a digital divide.
Absolutely.
This is an enormous tool for developing nations, especially those who have not had the benefit of years of experience with computers and the internet. It's going to be a whole new world for many of those countries.
Telephone is so ubiquitous. We can really bridge the digital divide with this technology, because other existing schemes are great, but they can only go that far, because a lot of people who do not know how to read or write, very prominent at the base of the pyramid people. They cannot also afford high-end phones and so forth. So for them, this is a nice way to get the internet. One more important information, just to compare that, like in mobile phones, you can get some internet called wireless web with WML. Right. You got to rewrite the website content into small, tiny pages so that you can view that on cell phone screen.
Right.
Well, that is good, but there are over 3 billion websites. To rewrite them is cost prohibitive.
And more every day.
Correct.
Yes.
And not only that, let's say Yahoo. On a standard computer, Yahoo has, say, 100 pages. Now, if you want to fit the complete Yahoo on a mobile device, you probably would need 1,000 tiny pages. If you do that, suppose somebody gave us money and we do it, right? How you are going to navigate to 999 page? Right. One will forget how to get there, right? So what they're doing, they're taking only 1 to 2% of the important information of a particular website, for example, Yahoo, and then put that on the wireless web, and that's what we see on the wireless web. So it is great, but it is far away from the real internet. Yes. So what we are doing here, as we have this rendering technology, meaning take the content from today's website and find out the desired content which is small and play it over the phone. This is one thing that we have today. Yes. But we also have a nice vision, and actually also our plan to come up end of this year, a micro browser where the same content that you can hear can also display on a cell phone screen. Now, since the content is already rendered, it is short, you can see it on a cell phone screen at ease. There is no need to rewrite any content with another language. So this will basically solve the wireless internet problem, bringing any website, any of the 3 billion website literally on any cell phone screen. 3 highlights at a time is easily displayable on a screen, and once you select a highlight, the content column at a time is also easily viewable.
So your technology is continuing to evolve.
Absolutely.
I won't say improve because it's already at a high standard, but the whole world of digital technology still has a journey in front of it.
Absolutely, Alan. And I would like to add one more point there. One is digital divide, but there is another similar magnitude divide called language divide. Right. People in China or any non-English speaking countries, are left out from major part of the internet, because 70% of the internet, on the average is in English.
Yes.
So people are left out from major part of the internet. What we do, the content that we render can be translated in real time into another language. So a Chinese speaking person can say CNN in Chinese, get English CNN, but in real time convert it into Chinese. So we bridge the language.
That's amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, as you rightfully said, it's not just 1 or 2 products. We have a nice product roadmap, because we want to make sure that we keep on delivering proper services and technology to our users. So one of the important factor of the base of the pyramid people is they are illiterate. They are not going to say like surf the net, my email, that kind of command in future. They will say something, I want to get something from Yahoo in that particular local language. Right. We got to understand it. We cannot just give them search results that we get today in a computer, thousands of results. By the way, search engines are great, but we got to realize that that is okay with us. We can pick which one is relevant. Right. But a rural person cannot. So we've got to make sure that we understand what they're saying and go and find only the relevant information.
Well, that must be difficult, isn't it?
Much more difficult, yes.
With so many different accents and dialects, even in the English language.
And good news is that we have started working on those, and we are using actually our brain-like algorithms, because this is very rich in recognizing people, in solving complex problems, in understanding human language. And so we are borrowing as much ideas as we can, and then use what exists today, and also ride on the successful model. For example, we don't need any infrastructure. All the telephone infrastructures are there.
Yes.
As long as you can make a phone call, you are done. You can enjoy the internet. We use service providers, telephone networks, mobile or landline. We also use financing model that is already successful, like Grameen model, which is successful. But what we are doing, in addition to providing the internet, we focus on innovation, education, and entrepreneurship.
Right.
Because if we educate everybody in the world, that is great, but there will be a lot more job seekers than number of jobs.
Yes, yes.
So we've got to make sure that we provide enough training on innovation and entrepreneurship so that they can create jobs. And that way, we can really convert the base of the pyramid people into a huge resource that will help not just themselves, but also the rest of the world, including the rich people, because there will be low-cost, capable resources available.
Right.
So that will help the economic, social, cultural, and other developments.
And particularly in developing nations.
In developing nations.
And also from the United Nations Millennium Goals
Absolutely.
consideration, where education
Absolutely.
is one very important element, as are many others. But this really addresses some of those issues very well, I think.
Yes, Ellen, and I would like to add one line for MDGs, because we have been working with the United Nations for over 3 years. Because in 3 years ago, we said the existing technologies are great, but they alone will have difficulty in bridging the digital divide.
Right.
If we combine voice, then we can reach a lot more people. And I'm glad that we have been closely working with the United Nations since then. And one of the effort we are doing is the MDG, Achieve Millennium Development Goals.
Yes.
And just to be specific on that, in the Millennium Development Goals, one of the key things is we got to change the life of the poorest, right? Now, to do them, bottom of the bottom people, we got to involve them. How do you involve them? To involve them in a better way is to use voice and natural language, because that's the way they communicate,
yes.
right? So this is the angle we are coming to ensure that we do that, and then we focus on innovation, entrepreneurship, and education so that they can create jobs, they can create companies, and that's the way they can solve economic, social, cultural problems, gaps, and that will help the MDGs.
Creates prosperity.
Prosperity, yeah, absolutely.
Yes,
very well stated.
Absolutely. So let's just look at, in the final couple of minutes we have together, some of the applications you're already seeing for this service. We talked earlier on, I was surprised, hadn't really seen it, but for disabled people, people with health problems, that's an amazing asset to have. But
Absolutely.
There are so many other sections of society that can benefit from this, business obviously, but who else do you envisage and are you serving now? Which elements?
So there are 4 types of service users we have. One is, of course, blind, visually impaired, elderly, they have difficulty in using computers and other devices. Digital divide people, mainly prominent in developing countries like India, Thailand, Africa, and then highly mobile people, because when you are driving, we are all blind. We cannot use any display devices.
Right.
So these are the 4 major types of people.
Well, you're covering a great deal, and government itself, I suppose. If ministers are traveling or government servants, again, this is a terrific way for...
Yes, I'm glad that, Ellen, you mentioned government. One of the things we are doing is e-government, because e-government, they have done tremendous job last 5 years. They have done Web 2.0 in all government applications, right? Now, I was speaking at Geneva, World Forum on Information Society, I believe, and came to learn that the adoption rate is still very low, because the people who use that, they either don't have enough education or not very familiar with the computers and stuff like that. I mean, it is increasing, but we are leaving out a major portion of the population.
Right.
So voice becomes very handy for these people, so that government can talk to the citizen, which is very important.
Of course.
Because it is for them, actually, government is doing all these things, so that the government can help them. Bottom of the pyramid people can find jobs. Right now, jobs are on the internet. They don't know what jobs exist. Now they can find jobs. They can apply for the jobs. They can even get the appointment letter.
Right, of course, of course. No, this is a tremendous advance, really, in the use of voice technology. And who knows how far voice technology is going to go with a company like yours leading it so boldly. So, Mr. Emdad Khan, the founder and CEO of InternetSpeech. Thank you very much for being with South-South News.
Thank you,
And the very best of luck with all of your endeavors and the spread of this technology.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Alan Capper, South-South News.